Welcome to Cubed Connection. At Better Together Cubed, we believe that successful social and emotional development of students begins with empowering educators. In this spirit, we have developed Cube Connection, our partner professional development support series. These short videos are an invitation to pause, to reflect, and we hope will continue to inspire your wholehearted social-emotional learning implementation. Thank you for taking a moment to connect with us, your practice, and your students and community. We are better together. Hi, I'm Julie, and in today's episode of Cubed Connection, we're going to explore vulnerability. You'll find this card in your Educator Self-Care Kit. Researcher Dr. Brené Brown defines vulnerability as the feeling we experience during uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. Being vulnerable with students require that we let our guard down. We need to show them that we keep growing and learning by honoring our shortcomings and our struggles. Without vulnerability, we send a message of idealism and perfectionism that is challenging for anyone to achieve. Carol Dweck's 2016 work on growth mindset demonstrated that a willingness to accept failure and mistakes as part of the learning process leads people, including students, to much greater successes. Teaching our students well includes teaching them that failures are not barriers to success. When we're willing to be vulnerable and imperfect, we help students feel safe enough to also be imperfect, and thus take the risks necessary to grow in our classrooms. I want to start by giving you a few examples of vulnerability. For example, reaching out to someone you haven't connected with for a while and trying to reconnect with them, that's vulnerable. Or being willing to feel pride or shame about something that's happening or something you did, that's being vulnerable. If you share something personal about yourself that you would usually hold back, that's vulnerability. Or telling someone if you're upset at their actions and how that impacted you, or maybe communicating clear boundaries in a loving and a compassionate way, those are all examples of vulnerability. Anytime you're putting yourself out there, and maybe even risking rejection, that requires bravery, which is vulnerability. So let's think about a few times you've experienced this uncertainty, risk, or emotional exposure, vulnerability. What was happening in your body? What emotions did you feel? What thoughts were in your mind? Take a few moments and journal about what vulnerability has felt like for you. As you reflect on your experiences, did you armor up? Were you striving for perfection, numbing out, or interrupting the possibilities of joyful moments? Brené Brown suggests, were you dress rehearsing tragedy by imagining all the ways that something could go wrong? This is a type of armor that can make us feel like we're in control and temporarily safe, but really it's a shield of perfectionists that keeps us from being seen and allowing our authentic self to shine. Numbing our emotions is also damaging because this is the land of the relative. We cannot experience fear without also experiencing joy. Likewise, we can't numb fear without also numbing joy. So we can't stop feelings of shame without numbing feelings of bliss. We live in the land of the relative, so all feelings have to be honored. Without vulnerability, there's no belonging, no love, or joy. Being vulnerable is courageous. So here are some things to keep in mind as you practice daring greatly in your own life. Recognize that vulnerability takes courage. Taking small steps like asking someone what they're thinking, being proud of yourself for when you are brave or when you do step into vulnerability. Let go of constant worry about what are other people thinking about you or how will they respond. Most people really aren't focused on you, they're focused on their internal struggles. If you're feeling overwhelmed, consider focusing your attention on your breath and the sensations of your body, doing a light body scan, or just pausing to breathe. And then return your attention back to the task on hand when you're a little bit more grounded. And please don't worry about being perfect. In fact, just let go of that. No one's perfect. And the more you hold on to this impossible ideal, the more easily you'll feel frustrated and give up. So remember, being vulnerable is courageous. Thank you for taking a little time to reflect with us, your practice, and your families and communities. We truly believe we are better together. Take care.